Hey, what's up, everybody? This is DJ Keo, and today is going to be a touchy subject. And I know these aren't popular videos, but I think we're in the DJ industry. We need to know what's going on in the industry. And I can talk about gear and make videos and stuff like that, and people will be happy with that. Or I can talk about software, but this is still a business, and you should know what's going on in your business. And I think with this industry being in lockdown right now, people have questions about it, the legality of it, and which brings me to today's story. So, Greater Manchester, the industry of clubs and bars and people that work in nightlife, whatever, are they're putting together a lawsuit to fight back the perceived injustice of being locked down. The thing that's interesting about this, and as far as I can tell, I have not seen a case that's been put before the judge where people fought against a lockdown and lost. Um, you look at countries like America. There's a constitution, and there's the freedom to assemble, freedom of religion, freedom of speech. First and Second Amendment is guns and whatever else. All right, we're going to talk about that. The point is that the government cannot really control you staying at home or forcing you to not go to this business or whatever. They don't have the power to do that. Basically, all of the shutdowns have been people doing it out of the kindness of their heart. But if they were chose to complain about it, they would win in court. And we've already seen court cases in Michigan. Um, they had ones in Florida, Texas, um, New York has had court cases. California's had court cases about lockdowns and shutdowns, and they've lost every court. The state has lost every court case because technically you cannot stop people from gathering. And I don't know what the hell is going on in Australia right now. They've lost their ever loving mind. And so, I know people are apprehensive about getting together in large groups, but if you want to, you should be able to. And governments like Australia scare me. That frightens me. You can't go overboard with this. So I would prefer if people chose to stay home and chose not to gather in large groups, but people are doing that right now. We just had the Lakers winning championship for NBA for people who live in America. I have viewers from UK and other countries. That's why I keep talking about this stuff. But so we had a large concentration of people not wearing masks jumping up and down. So when the government tells you, okay, you can protest or you can go throw a parade because your team won, but you can't make any money at a bar, people start to prop their head up and be like, "Yo, what the hell's going on here?" And so this is one of these cases. Again, like I understand. I've talked to people that subscribe to me and they're like, "Oh hell no, I'm not getting out of my house right now." It's crazy. And I don't disagree with you on that. And I totally understand where you're coming from. However, from my perspective, I don't like that the government's telling you you can't do something. I would prefer that the citizens decide I don't want to do a thing rather than lockdown police tell me I can't do a thing for the beer virus. That's just how I look at it. I'm pro personal responsibility, always first and foremost. Now, are there stupid people that can't get out of their own way? Yes, absolutely. However, uh, the government doesn't really deal with obese people like the way they're dealing with the beer thing. And and again, I don't want to get into the particulars about what's right and what's wrong and what you should be doing and you shouldn't be doing. I personally feel, maybe we shouldn't be in large groups, at least for the time being, till we figure this thing out. At least for that, that's how I feel about it. However, I would prefer if the government didn't do it. The reason being is that the government doesn't know when to stop. I think that is the best way to go about saying it without saying it. Usually, when you give people power and it goes to their head, and the next thing you know, we're in 1984, and I don't want that. I don't want Gattaca. I don't want 1984. I don't want Brave New World. I would like people to not be sick and not go to a party. If you're sick, stay home. I would like that. Now, I don't want to get into arguments about masks and all that kind of stuff, but if there was a court case about forcing you to do these types of things, they would lose because technically they can't do it and everybody's complying out of the goodness of their heart. So I have a feeling now, and I'm talking about America and Canada and North America with these kind of court cases. We've had them, and every time they've went up against the law, they've lost, and the government had to retract some of the restrictions and stuff they've been doing. And that's the reason why states like Florida and Texas are open now, and states like New York aren't for the most part. But they just haven't had their court cases finished going through the system yet. But when it does, New York's gonna have to open up just like Michigan had to open up. And same way California is gonna have to open up eventually. So let's get into this. All right. Senior figures working in the greater Manchester nighttime industry have prepared a legal challenge to local lockdown restrictions. Um, yeah, I talked about in the opening. UK government on Monday unveiled a new three-tiered system for the beer thing, and some of these are severe depending on what area you are, and some of them relax. And I get the breakout and that kind of thing. Like I totally understand. So basically, the government's telling you which pubs and bars or restaurants are can't be open in an area. In certain areas, it's fine and you can gather and whatever. So I love England, man. The Greater Manchester Nighttime Economy Advisor, Sacha Lord, stated that he would be launching a legal challenge against the restrictions. And you know what? They got concerns about overreach. Let's put it like that, overreach. So Lord tweeted that he's got tangible, and again, this is his argument. I'm not making this argument. This is what Sasha Lord is saying. And Sasha Lord said that basically there hasn't been given any tangible scientific evidence to merit a full closure. And we just had something from the World Health Organization saying that they didn't believe that lockdowns were the best things for third world countries. And they said it affected them negatively. And it's hard to argue that it hasn't. I think that, first world countries, they've got resources inside their country where they can import stuff in. But if a third world country is dependent on imports and trade and travel, like a touristy country, like say um, Jamaica, that's got resorts and stuff like that. If they're locked out and you can't go there, that's a huge problem for the economy for that country and the ability for them to thrive. And so I don't disagree with the argument that the World Health Organization is making. Um, so when it comes to the lockdowns in your own city or state, whatever, I think that the governments have basically used a sledgehammer when it probably required a scalpel. For me personally, and again, this is my opinion, I'm not a doctor. I think that the lockdown should have been towards more vulnerable people in society, and they probably should have done more resources to help people in the situations that, and whether healthcare or medicine or whatever, they probably should have stepped in and done that versus the total and complete lockdown where everybody stays in their house. Uh, that's just my personal opinion. Again, I'm not a doctor. Yeah, appearing on Sky News, Lord addressed the impact of the government restrictions on nighttime venues and freelancers and their ability to work. And you have to admit this has been a substantial decrease in benefits from the government. And so like we're looking at it from, if you're doing this lockdown thing here, well, you need to take care of people so that they can stay at home. They haven't done that. I there's a few countries that have tried to look out for people, like Canada, for some capacity, but it wasn't total and complete blanket. Everybody got paid. Certain types of people got paid. Other people, they didn't meet the requirements, so they're out of luck. In America, they're giving checks for like $1,000. I think it's like $1,200, and a lot of people did not. They did not meet the requirements, or their check just didn't come. It got lost in the mail. You know, Australia had similar issues there with who's getting money. And so, like, my standpoint is that I don't think the lockdowns probably should have been a scalpel instead of sledgehammer. But if you were going to force it, then you should have paid people. But also, you can't force it because government shouldn't tell people where to go. We're getting dangerous territory here. Granted, this is my opinion. It's completely my opinion. The legal challenge comes after the LGBT owner of a LGBT club challenged the curfew. And this is something I don't agree with either. The curfews don't make any sense. And the hospitality is kind of the scapegoat for all this. But I saw a study that said 80% of people that were catching it's from the CDC, all right? I didn't pull this out of my butt. They said 80% of people who caught it in the last couple months were all wearing masks. So, I mean, we're going to look back at this time a couple years from now, and we're going to slap our forehead saying, "What the hell have we done?" And I truly believe that. And without getting, you don't even need to be a conspiracy theorist to go there. I think that generally we haven't we've used sledgehammers when it should have been scalpels. And I'm using this analogy a lot, but I think it's apt that I don't think we've taken enough time to really look at what's happening here and use the right resources and use the right tactics. And we did a one size fit all, and I think that is wrong. One size does not fit all for this situation that we have going on with the beer thing. And it's been a colossal problem, and governments have not learned their lesson, which is why I have the fear of do not give them too much power. You know, I'm not a libertarian per se, but I get it, yo. I get it. You can't give this too much power to these people. A lot of people are morons and they failed at life and they just got lucky to get into government and they're making decisions for your life. So again, I'm not a doctor and I agree with COVID. So that lets you know my position. Damn it, I said it. Anyways, let me know what you guys think about the lockdowns. Do you think it's good? Do you think it's bad? Um, I I'll guarantee this. Manchester is gonna lose this court case, and then they're gonna have different types of problems on their hands, which is why I think they should probably have set out guidelines and suggested people stay at their homes rather than just locking everything up and arresting people. That's just my opinion. Anyways, let me know what you guys think. Yeah, leave a comment below. Please like and subscribe, and peace out, bitches.